Did you know that your hair care routine should be changing with the seasons? Yeah girl, let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome to a new video. I'm Jaisha, and if you have curly hair like me and you live in a place that has 4 seasons like I do, then it is almost time for you to switch up your hair care routine. Winter is coming and it is getting cold outside. Today I'm going to be doing my wash and go using the Inner Sense I Create Definition Styling Foam and the Inner Sense I Create Hold Gel. With winter coming, cold air means dry hair, and dry hair is more prone to breakage. Cold air also means your scalp can be drier and have flaking. Just like sometimes our skin gets flaky and dry in the wintertime, your scalp and your hair go through the same thing. Not only am I not a fan of the cold, but it also sucks having to worry about my hair even more to make sure that it is staying moisturized and healthy. In the fall and especially the winter, outside is cold and dry, and you go inside with the heat on and it's hot and dry. There is no moisture anywhere, and on top of it being dry outside, cold and dry, the coldness closes your hair cuticles, so it's even harder to get moisture in, especially when you're outside. And I already have low porosity hair. I don't need my cuticles being any tighter than they already are. So let's talk about a few ways that we can keep our hair moisturized and healthy throughout the winter time. And I am not gonna lie to y'all, I do not do all of these things, definitely probably not consistently, because I'm just not trying to add a whole bunch more to my wash day routine. But I do what works and what fits into my schedule. So in the wintertime, it might be best to skip your clarifying shampoo. Now, I know the curly girls like to use moisturizing shampoos and co-washes in order to not strip our curls, but overall, you still should be clarifying your hair, especially if there's a lot of buildup. You still want to clarify your hair probably maybe every 6 to 8 weeks or so. So every so often after, I use moisturizing shampoos every week on my wash day, but every so often I will go in with a clarifying shampoo just to get a really good clean and remove any extra dirt or buildup from my scalp and my hair. In the wintertime, we need as much moisture as we can get, so you definitely don't want to strip your hair with a clarifying shampoo. With clarifying shampoo, the purpose is to really cleanse your hair, and it's going to strip your hair of the natural oils. And in the wintertime, we just need as much moisture as we can get, so we skip that for a little while. Another way to add moisture to your hair care routine is to pre-poo. Now, I'm really not big on this. Pre-pooing is not a part of my normal wash day routine. I've done it once or twice, but it's not a consistent thing for me. But it is, pre-pooing is adding oil to your scalp and your hair before you wash it and just letting it sit so that your hair moisturizes and I guess prepares to be washed. Something like that. Now again, I can't really speak to pre-pooing, but there are some people that swear by it. But even if you don't pre-poo every wash day and you just add it in every so often, it could still help retaining your moisture. Wintertime is definitely the time to be using heavier products, creams and butters, and thick deep conditioners and leave-in conditioners. They say to avoid gel and to avoid wash and goes in the wintertime, but that is just not happening over here. I live by a Stronghold gel. I live by a wash and go, so I'm not cutting it out. But I always make sure that my hair is 100% dry before I go outside into the cold. But this is definitely the time to be using products that have like shea butter in them and mango butter and the heavier oils like castor oil. Those kind of ingredients are really going to be necessary to help your hair retain moisture when it's cold outside. Another way to retain moisture in the wintertime, and you should be doing this all year round, but especially do not skip this in the wintertime, and that is deep conditioning. Deep conditioning is the best way to ensure long-lasting, intense moisture and hydration for your hair. I do not play about my deep conditioning routine. It has always been and will always be a part of my wash day. I don't skip deep conditioning under any circumstances, but if you're on and off about deep conditioning, I really suggest being very proactive about it in the winter months because, like I said, it is long-lasting moisture. And adding heat to your deep conditioning in the wintertime is also very crucial because adding heat or using a steamer is the best way to ensure that your cuticles are opening up and actually getting the benefits of your deep conditioner and getting that deep level of moisture. Again, there's also products that have those thicker butters and oils in their deep conditioners to help with the moisture. So Shea Moisture has a raw shea butter intensive hydration mask. They also have a Jamaican black castor oil intense hydration mask, and they're very thick and really moisturizing. Like I've used both of them plenty of times and I love the moisture that they give. I love how they feel. They make detangling very easy and they keep my hair moisturized for a long time. And I mean, if you don't want to have to worry about any of this stuff on wash day or every wash day, do protective styles. Protective styles in the winter are great because they keep your hair and your ends especially tucked away and protected. So things like braids, twists, ponytails or buns, make sure to switch up the placement on them, or weaves or wigs, whatever your preference is. Having your hair protected and tucked away when it's cold outside and, you know, shielded from the elements is a really beneficial thing. But don't neglect your hair just because it is in a protective style. You still need to maintain some type of moisturizing routine. Yes, protective styles are less work, but that doesn't mean they're no work. Something very specific to the winter that we have to be mindful of with our hair is the fabrics that come with the winter. We're wearing thicker, harsher fabrics, and it's best to avoid your hair rubbing against these fabrics and snagging and potentially causing breakage or split ends. Your hats and scarves and turtlenecks and jackets. When your hair is rubbing against these type of rough fabrics, it can cause breakage. It can cause split ends and your hair to just be even drier than it already is because it's creating friction. Wool is a really harsh fabric on your hair. Like if your ends are, if you have a jacket or a scarf or a sweater that's made out of wool, it will make your hair very dry. It is just not the best fabric. It's very harsh on our hair, so I would try to avoid it. Not that you can't own clothing that is made out of these materials, but I would avoid my hair. I tried to avoid my hair rubbing against these kind of materials. So wearing satin lined hats. If I am going to be wearing a scarf or a jacket or a sweater that is made from one of these not so delicate fabrics, I definitely try to put my hair up so that it is not rubbing against that fabric. And that's really where the protective styles come very handy. Speaking of things to avoid when it comes to your hair in the wintertime, I know I already mentioned heavier products like oils and butters. Not all are created equally. So any oil that solidifies, like coconut oil, solidifies in the cold, and you don't want it to solidify on your hair and make your hair hard and likely to break off. So I think it is best to avoid coconut oil in the wintertime. And I mean directly putting raw coconut oil on your hair. If a product has coconut oil in it, most likely it is fine. But if you tend to put raw coconut oil straight out of the jar on your hair, I would avoid doing that in the wintertime because when you go outside, it could be solidifying on your hair. And that's just not helpful. If you are a curly girl and you like to get your hair straightened every so often, nothing wrong with that. But in the winter months, I would try to avoid heat tools as much as possible. The blow dryer, the flat iron, those heating tools, they pull moisture out of your hair. They dry your, it kind of makes your hair dry. And so not really the best idea in the wintertime when it's already cold. I know it's tempting because in the fall, in the winter, it's silk press season. Our hair is not going to frizz up like it does in the summertime, so your silk press may be able to last longer. I mean, I can't get a silk press to last past 2 days, so I don't know how y'all doing it. But the heating tools themselves is what could be causing your hair to get dry. And not only that, when our hair is straight, we don't put a lot of product on it, and we're definitely not putting heavy products on it. So being able to keep your hair moisturized while it is straight is, I guess, more of a task. And my last tip is to try to get a trim at the end of the season. That way you can remove any breakage or split ends that were caused by the dryness or the harsh fabrics of the wintertime, and you kind of get to start fresh with a new routine for the spring. So those are my tips for how to adjust your hair care routine for the winter months. I wish I lived somewhere that was summer all year round, but I live in New York City and it gets very cold. Like I said, I don't do all of these all the time. There's always exceptions, but I am a little bit more mindful of how I care for my hair in the winter months when it's colder outside, in the fall and the winter months when it starts to get cold. And I am strongly considering changing my routine up a little bit more this season just to see if it makes a difference, because my hair is healthy, but I do want to try to retain more length. To be honest, I feel like my hair has been at the same length for a long time, for like years. And I know it would require a little bit more effort on my part for me to be able to retain more length and just have a little bit more consistency with adding a few more steps to my wash day process, my overall maintenance process. And so, I don't know. I gotta see how it works out, because I don't know. Are y'all ready for winter? Are you ready for the new routines that come with it? Let me know down below how you care for your hair or what you do to your hair to keep it healthy and protected in the winter and colder months. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more videos, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or you found it helpful, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.